What's up, you guys? Godzilla Fan Freaks coming at you today with another figure review. Now today, before I get on to this figure review, really quick, I want to mention it was pointed out to me, and after I looked it up, my last review was actually the theater exclusive Bandai Kamacuras. So I went through and I edited the title of the video and I edited the description and all that stuff. So sorry that's not mentioned in the video, but that's why I thought I'd edit the title and the description and all that. So my last figure review was the theater exclusive Kamacuras. I did not know that. So you learn something new every day when you're in the Godzilla hobby. So anyway, let's get on to today's figure review. Today's figure review is the Bandai Kamacuras from pretty much Son of Godzilla. I was very happy to get this figure at G-Fest 21. Big shout out goes to my buddy Greg at Exian Japanese Imported Toys. I got this figure from him, and I'm very happy to have it in my collection. It's just one of those figures, you know, you really don't come across a lot of Kamacuras in the Godzilla hobby. There's Bandai's, and I think there's a couple. I don't know if there's any Marmots, but there's some of those like vintage pieces and stuff like that. But Bandai Kamacuras here. Let's just go straight on into it. Very nice figure. You can definitely tell it's Kamacuras. It's just not another giant praying mantis figure that you would get at a dollar store or anything like that. You can tell it's Kamacuras from 1967 Son of Godzilla. Straight on into it with paint. He's an overall kind of a deepish military camouflage green for most of his body on his legs and such. Just a very nice, green look over his body. And then the brown that they used is almost like a metallic copperish brown. It's very nicely done and applied on his backside and on his underside. Just a very nice, shiny, metallic. It does look like a shade of copper. It almost looks, I work a lot with metal and steel and all that stuff, and it does. It looks like copper to me. But very nice added, to the body, even on the face here in between his big orange eyes. Since I'm on the eyes, the eyes are very nice orange. And then his claws here are, a silver, which they really weren't that in the film. But pretty much on anything that's Godzilla, they always do the claws a certain silver. Even on some Godzilla figures and stuff like that. They paint his claws silver instead of like white or something. But I'm sure the silver highlight would have been better than any other type of color, because the way you look at it now, if this was some sort of beige or, bonish tan color or something like that, it wouldn't go with the greens and everything else. So silver was the next best choice, and it looks good on him. Next, we'll go straight on into it with detail. This figure is amazing. Bandai Japan never disappoints. I mean, you got all the definition in his skin. One thing I'll point out is like the hair in some places, like the hair at his knuckles here before the claws is very nicely etched into the sculpt. The hair up here at his, where the, I guess, shoulders would meet his body is very nicely etched into the sculpt. Same here where each leg attaches to his body. All that hair is very nicely and well detailed in there. All of the saw etches along his claws, along his curved claw, are very nicely etched in there, even up on the forearm here. Very nicely done with, the saw etches. Also on this claw of his, they're a lot smaller, but, they're just here on the back portion of it, and then the rest of the front portion is all smooth. But again, you have the same type of etching going along his forearms there. And then, even on his legs here, they have that same type of saw etching, blade-like look. And that is very nice, detail, pay attention. I don't think I've ever even noticed any of those, details from the suit in the movie or anything like that. Or again, Kamacuras really wasn't a suit. He was pretty much a puppet. But, again, Bandai pays attention to detail so well, pretty much just like X Plus does. They get as much into the figure as they can. Eyes are very nice, smooth all the way around. Little antennas poking out here at the front. The mouth is very nicely done and sculpted. Let's see, again, just the definition along the skin. All the spikes and really armored type look up here on his back here. Very nicely done. All the spikes are very nicely sculpted on there. All the spikes running down the middle of his back, all the way down to the last spike coming out his rear end. Very nicely done and sculpted on there. The wings are not all smooth. If you look really closely, you can see all the small grooves and tiny lines etched into the sculpt of the wings, and it looks very nice. Even on the under part of the wings here that stick out the side. Very nice, paying attention to detail and just running some grooves and lines along the sculpt to get them etched in there. Along the underside here, you got all the different, flaps of, bug-like, bug-like skeleton running along the underside here all the way to the end, especially up here on his chest. Very nice, detail and paint apps all the way around with Kamacuras. Nothing disappoints with him. Next on to articulation. I don't think the head moves. The head on mine doesn't move, but he does have a joint here at kind of, I guess, the waist, you would call it. You can kind of tilt him from side to side. And then his arms will swivel outwards and inwards like that. They won't go up or down or anything like that. They just swivel in and out just like that. Same thing with this arm. It'll just swivel in and out like that, which this arm actually comes in to help because Kamacuras can be a little bit difficult to stand. You have to get them just right, but if you get the legs proportion just right, stands just fine. But this can also act as another, standpoint. If you need to help him stand, you can kind of have that down on the ground. All the legs are on a swivel as well. They just swivel, forwards and backwards like that. Very nicely done. Another thing I want to talk about the sculpt really quick too, that I just forgot to go over, is I don't know if it was intended with this figure or not, but all the different legs are kind of in a different position. I mean, I guess it's just the way you have them swiveled and pivoted. But his legs, they all seem to be in a different, position or not. So I don't know if all the legs are sculpted the same or if it's just the way that you have them pivoted or whatever. But depending on the way you have them or whatnot, it looks like he is like crawling or, he's in motion. All his legs just aren't the same lined up, perfectly at attention, like a soldier or anything like that. So it is kind of nice that all the legs are kind of differently pivoted and sculpted and bended differently at the knees here and everything like that. Oh, another thing about sculpt, each joint at the knees has very nice grooves in them as well. So that is also very nice, paying attention to detail and touch like that. And lastly, see, now he doesn't want to stand up, so I'll just put that extra arm down and he'll stand up now. And lastly, we'll move on to scaling. I don't have any Kumongas that'll scale with him. I need to find myself a YMSF Kumonga eventually. But I don't have any Kumongas that'll scale in with him. But I do have the 50th anniversary memorial box, Godzilla 67 from Son of Godzilla. Scaling is nice. They look really good together. You can get some really nice reenactments. You can kind of put Kamacuras' claw up here around Godzilla's neck and kind of have him like hanging off and whatnot. So definitely these figures do look nice together. Very nice in scale, I will say. I don't think Kamacuras is too big or too small. I think they hit the nail right on the head here with scaling. Very nice scale between these two figures. And the only Minya I have in my collection is pretty much just going to represent Minya when he first hatches. Because, that's really small. But that'll be kind of Minya when he first hatches. So you can kind of have Minya on the ground or something at the foot of Kamacuras or something like that. Or post Godzilla coming at him or something. Or, something I found pretty funny to do is the hands on the 67 figure here are very nice and sculpted. And I can actually kind of have him grab Minya by his head. And he could do something like that or something, for laughs and shits and giggles. So, pretty fun that way. But very nice scaling, I will say here, between these two to kind of reenact that scene when Minya first hatches and everything. You just need a couple more of Kamacuras figures. But all in all, at the end of the day, That's picture perfect right there. You don't get any better than that. You can even have Minya maybe up on his top of his dad's, back of his head or something. I don't know. But very nice, all in all, at the end of the day. Kamacuras is a great figure. I would recommend you pick him up. I mean, he is a little pricey, but again, he's an older figure. He's hard to come by. With or without the tag, you're going to be paying a pretty hefty dollar. So, but if you're a true Godzilla fan and everything like that, Kamacuras is one to have. So that's about all I got, you guys, for this figure review. We are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Like always, please comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next figure review. Thank you for watching.